Good. Oh, are we here? Are we here? What's up, Brian? What's up, my people? How are you doing tonight? Tonight. My plan was to go live about 20 minutes ago, and then some things we had some difficulties, but we here though. We are here. How is everybody doing tonight? How are you doing? I'm doing amazing. I'm doing good. What's up, Amanda? What is going on? So tonight I want to talk to you about what's the title? Be be your rare self. Be your rare self. And so, um, for those of you who know me from the hair world, you know my business is called Rare Essence Academy, Rare Essence Studio. And I really stand behind the idea of what it means to be rare. And so I want to talk to you all about that, and hopefully you'll really understand that it's what your rareness is what makes you valuable. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's why I really want to talk about that, because so many people who are entrepreneurs, or they do certain things in their lives, but if they don't understand how rare they are, if they don't understand what makes them unique, like it really is going to take away and overshadow the impact that you're supposed to make. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Let me know where you all are coming from. If you think that this can help somebody else, what's up? I think it's Jure West in Peace. Share this with somebody. Share this with your people. Listen, can you do that? Because that really helps me. What if y'all small be like, and not because I don't have my glasses on tonight, because I have my contacts. I got my contacts on tonight, so I can see y'all. I definitely can see. Maryland's in the house. Thank you, Chakuma. DC is in the house. What's up, Dre? What's up, Dre? Who else is in the house? Y'all know I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. You shared it. I appreciate the shares. What's up, West Palm Beach in the house? Thank you for the shares. You're in Maryland too. I used to live in Maryland. I lived in Maryland for a couple of years when I was a youngin'. What's up, Northern Cali? Okay, so we got a couple Maryland DMV people in the house. Thank you for joining me. I think a lot of you all, for the most part, start following me more recently because I got more active on my social media. Some of you have heard me talk about this. It's really something that I feel like if I'm not doing, I'm being disobedient. And so, what's up, Javai? What's up, Austin? What's up, North Carolina? And so, the reason why I'm being so consistent is because I realize, like, if I'm not being consistent, if I'm not doing what I'm called to do, what I'm told to do, like, yeah, I'm walking out of alignment with what God called me to do. I'm walking out of alignment with my assignment. And so, I was thinking about, like, I just start posting consistently in mid-August, and to see the growth, y'all, the growth, all of y'all who have, what I'm saying, found me, and I'm appreciative, but just to see it blows my mind. But I was thinking about, like, what created the growth. And so tonight we're talking about be your rare self. And so I think, like, people can express themselves, and they can express themselves inauthentically, and it doesn't necessarily connect. But I think a lot of what's connecting with you all is the fact that I am, to the best of my ability, being my rare self, being my authentic self. And so when we think about rare, when we think about just the word rare and the definition of rare, and why is it so important for you to be rare, the definition of the word rare means that it's not found in large numbers. Okay, like this is not something that you gonna find just walking down the street. Like, listen, it's rare, and it's also consequently of interest and of value. And so we have to all understand that we are all rare. Like, we always hear, you're unique and you're precious and you're beautifully and wonderfully made, but we can hear that. But how do we actually be that? How do we actually become the rare person and walk in that rareness courageously and unapologetically? And so another definition for being, or the word rare, is uncommon, infrequent, which to me is like, it don't come around often. It don't come around often. It also means unusually good or remarkable. It's excellent. And so I have this acronym for the word rare, and it speaks to having a revelation. The first letter for rare is R, which is revelation of your authentic assignment, which is A, and also having a readiness to execute with excellence. And I talk about that because a lot of people, they don't even realize that the world, society, systems, even families cause us to be something that we're not. Sometimes we become something that we're not because of rejection. Sometimes we are something that we're not because of trauma, fear of standing out. Because one thing I realize is that the world tries to almost punish you for being a nonconformist. When the reality is, when you don't conform and you decide to be rare, you really are that one that stands out and actually leaves a mark. When you think about anybody who has left a mark on this world or who has done something of great significance, they became their rare self and they became so unapologetic, so courageous. I'm going to say it again, love. So courageous that they stepped into the fullness of who they were. And you know what? The reason why sometimes people don't like when you're rare is because they can't control you. When you decide to be convicted about who you are, why you're here, and understand how rare you are and that your rareness brings the value. When you tap into your rareness, that's what makes you valuable. Like, it makes some people uncomfortable because they can't control it. And so we have to learn. The Bible even says, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And if we think about it, God has made us all unique. And us walking in the fullest expression of who we are is literally like what makes us stand out, and it makes us even all the more valuable. So I'm going to talk about I'm going to break down the acronym for rare. So the first letter is R, which stands for revelation. And revelation, I love that word because it speaks to something being right in front of you. It speaks to something being right in your midst. We can be looking dead in the mirror and see ourselves every day, but not really see ourselves from a spiritual perspective and understand like how great we are. And so we have to we really have to pray for revelation. And so, so much of me coming into the courageousness of who God created me to be was from the standpoint of me praying and asking God to open my eyes, reveal to me who I am. And as he began to reveal to me who I am, there was a level of courageousness and conviction that came upon me that, I don't know, it literally just like, it's what you see before you right now. And so we have to have a revelation of who we are. And so when we don't walk in our rareness, sometimes it's because we don't know what makes us rare, or two, the things that do make us rare, we've been taught to hide it. We've been taught to suppress it. We've repressed it because we thought that was the thing that would punish us, or we thought that was the thing that would make other people feel insecure. Like, there's so many reasons why we don't necessarily like fully stand in it. And again, some of it's because we don't have a revelation. And so for those of you who may be taking notes right now, maybe you need to write down, I need a revelation of who I am and how rare I am. I need a revelation of who I am and how rare I am. Because again, when you understand what makes you rare, that's where you tap into your value. That's where you tap into a level of self-esteem, confidence, and worth. Why? Because there's nobody like you. You feel me? There is nobody like you. And I think that, the world will cause you to think that you need to be like everybody else. And that's a lie. See, the thing is, like, I love Lauryn Hill. Lauryn dropped an album back in, I don't even know, early 2000s. I mean, the level of wisdom that she had back then. And she was just talking about like going through a healing process on that Unplugged album. And she was just talking about like, I had to reintroduce myself to my whole family. Like, they didn't even know who I was. And what she's speaking to is the fact that like, we think we know who we are because we look in the mirror every day, but we don't. But do we look beneath the surface to find the gifts and find the qualities that actually make us valuable. And so what I realize is like, people would always tell me like, you're a good speaker. And I'd be like, for real? Listen, everybody talk, like everybody got a mouth, everybody speak. Like I didn't realize that God had gifted me and graced me with the ability to speak. I didn't understand that's what made me rare. And it's funny because a lot of times the things that make us rare or distinguish us are the things that we tend to be ashamed of. Listen, I grew up in Glendale, Arizona, y'all. I grew up in a predominantly white, like, listen, me and my siblings and maybe two other neighbors were like the only black kids in school. It was torture. It was torture. And because of that, when I would go to Chicago, where my family is from, and I'd be around family members, they'd be like, why you talk like that? Why you dress like that? Why you know what I'm saying? And so what that does, especially early in childhood, it makes you feel like you need to be something other than who you are. So what that did to some degree, a subconscious or unconscious level, made me question my voice, made me question how I sounded. Not even just question, made me dislike, made me not accept. And so, over the years, I remember like, okay, so when I would go to Chicago and be around my family, like I would try to talk like them. And then I'd come back and I'd be talking like my family. And then my schoolmates would be like, why you talking like that? Like, mind your business. Because I was trying to conform. I was just trying to fit in. And so sometimes we take on that tendency very early in life. We don't even realize we are being chameleons, and we are not, we will never be able to be found as our rare selves when we have decided not to be ourselves. And it's not so much that you're trying to be fake. You're just trying to fit in because you've been punished or you've been ridiculed or you have been criticized for being your rare self. God, you better come on. Listen, because I almost wasn't going live today. I almost was not going live today. What's up, Sharonda? What's up, her? Hey, Mama D. So when we feel that sting of don't you get out of line, don't you become your rare self, and sometimes it comes from family members, sometimes it comes from friends who, as you decide to become your rare self, it agitates those who have decided not to become their rare self. And so what they do is that it's like a stinger. It's like, you can't, you trying to break away from the pack. Oh no, we can't have that. We're going to bring you right back into this. And so when we don't really understand that is actually the thing that is going to separate us, but in a good way, because the reality is, even though society may try to make you think that you will be punished or whatever, I don't even know the word I want to use right now, but y'all type a word in there for me. Almost, I'm saying, you will not be rewarded. It's actually those who don't conform, those who become their rare self, that become rewarded. And so I say that because, y'all, I'm being nothing but myself. And me being myself is the freest thing that I can be. And I realized how much I was not being myself and how inauthentic I was being because I didn't know how to be. I laugh to myself because, prior to me really posting consistently, only people that followed me was just family members. I mean, family members and friends and people who knew me from the hair world. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't really express myself that often, but I would not be surprised for people who have known me for years realize they never knew me. Realize like, dang, as Essence is starting to speak her heart and express herself, I thought I knew her, but I have no clue. And I wonder how many people would say that about you if you would just be your rare self. If you would decide to stand out and say, you know what, I have an expression. I have a way of being that I'm around, maybe around my most intimate settings where I feel safe, where I feel comfortable. But I don't know about being completely that in the world. And so I was just thinking to myself, like, dang, I think a lot of people are just like getting to know me, even though they felt like they've known me for a very long time. And it's not because I wasn't necessarily being fake. I just wasn't being full. I wasn't being the fullest expression of myself. What's up, Verona? And so as God has allowed me to get free, as God has liberated me, I've realized, dang, all I had to do was be myself. All I had to do was show up. And some of you, you're looking for a breakthrough in your business. You're looking through a breakthrough in your life, in your career. And some of it is because we've been hiding for far too long. We haven't known what it means to shine. We haven't known what it means to hone in on what makes us rare. Anyway, let me get to my notes. So point number 1 is your value is in your rareness. And when you embrace your rareness, this is what's going to set you free. When you realize, oh, the way I laugh, the way I talk, the way I dress authentically is actually what's going to attract my tribe. You always hear your vibe will attract your tribe, but it's your authentic vibe that will attract your tribe. So point number 1 is your value is in your rareness. And so much of our self-esteem and our confidence is associated with that. Shout out to Martin. Shout out, Martin. I appreciate you. Your value is in your rareness. So if you don't know what makes you rare and you're unaware, then this is where you need to make a prayer. See, this is who I am. Like, I'm corny and I love to rhyme, okay, all the time. Speaking of rhyming, I'm gonna spit this real quick because I want you to hear this, and it's not gonna be long. I ain't gonna make y'all listen to my raps. I'll leave that to my little brother. But I'm more than a conqueror in the face of my enemies. My Father granted grace, so his greatness is my identity. My Father granted me grace to be come on, God, grace to be myself. And his greatness, the Lord God Almighty, the creator of all things, is my identity. And so much of what I talk about is identity. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what makes you rare, if you don't know the things that you like and dislike, you will take anything. You will accept anything. And you will conform to everything. God's greatness is your identity. He's giving you grace to be your fullest self. Do you know that's how God is glorified? Do you know? Do you know that when you are in the full essence and the full expression of who you are, that's when God is just like. But when we decide to suppress that, when we decide to not be that, do you know that that's like it displeases God? It's a disservice to yourself and it's a disservice to others when you decide not to shine, when you decide not to become and not to be who you actually are. God is just like, I wish she would just love herself and accept herself. Okay? Y'all need to share this with somebody. I need to share it with myself. I'm going to go watch the replay. Because God be talking to me through me. Oh, dang. I don't want to be chewing all in the mic. Listen, I ain't have a meal yet, so I gotta have me an M&M. All right, point number 2. The fullest expression of who you are is what the world craves. The fullest expression of who you are is what the world craves. And I'm using this as a mark about, like, as God was really telling me, like, you need to go live and you need to drop these videos. And I wasn't completely understanding why. But because he had freed me up to be just my fullest self, the fullest expression of who I was, there's so many people like, and I thank God for this, but they're like, where have you been? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like it's refreshing. Like when you become your rare self, it will become so refreshing because they've never encountered it before. It may remind them of something or someone, but it's one of a kind. It's rare. And when you are consistent with it, see, the thing is, like, how can you be consistent with something that you're actually not? Y'all know that some people, they wear masks. I was so tired of wearing a daggone mask. I was like, I'm tired. Like, can we take these masks off? Why? Because that's not who I am authentically. I'm not used to wearing that. And so when people wear a mask for so long, it can only last, there's a Fuji song and it said, everybody wear a mask, but how long would it last? It is tiring to not be your fullest self. It's frustrating. It's stressful because you know that you are so much more than you have accepted, so much more than you've even been shown. And so it gets to a point where you feel yourself feeling confined. You feel yourself not being free. And the only reason why you don't feel free is because you're not full. What does that mean? You're not full. You're not full of the truth. Like when you have a fullness of truth inside of you, it expresses in a way that it attracts. It shines. But what happens is we tend to suppress the light. We tend to diminish and dim the light when we're not full of, come on, God, when we're not full of the truth. When we're not full of the truth. I'm sorry, I'm over here. And so when I say, like, we have to get full of the truth. And when we get full of the truth, we can be our fullest self. Point number 2. The fullest expression of who you are is what the world craves. They're looking, like, I know y'all hear me say this and you might be thinking like, they looking for me? Somebody's looking for you. They're looking for the business idea that you have. They're looking for the way that you express, because when you express, you impress. When you are like the fullest expression of yourself, you don't understand that you are, even if you don't have a business, that is your personal brand. God, you are doing something. A brand impresses. If you think about branding, when you put, you brand an animal, or when they brand people when they're like in sororities or fraternities. I hope they don't do that in sororities, but like fraternities. You're leaving an impression. I wonder what impression you're leaving based on the expression that you're giving. Because that's your personal brand. And if you're not expressing yourself from the most authentic part of who you are, you're not leaving the proper impression. And when you don't leave the proper impression, it doesn't attract. It don't even attract well. What's up, Tondo? What's up, Kafele? What's up, Miss Helen? It doesn't even attract well. And so we wonder why, and this goes to point number 3. We wonder why things are not growing for us. And some of it is because we are not concentrated. We're not concentrated. The more concentrated you are, and I want you to hear me, I'm not talking about concentrated when it comes to focus, but we can talk about that too. I'm talking about concentrate, like, when you buy some juice and it's 100% concentrate. It's just rich. It's just full. You hear me? There's so much, it's so concentrated. It's so full of, not itself in a way that we're conceited, but it's so full and so pure of like who you are. You're not tainted by anybody's influence or anybody's opinions. Like, you are just you unapologetically. You're concentrated. See, when we are not, we don't understand what makes us rare. What we tend to do is we water down. We do it unintentionally. We do it unconsciously. And so when we water down, when we think about like Kool-Aid or we think about sweet tea, like, y'all know y'all been some places where it just be bland. Like, why is it so bland? Like, this ain't hitting on nothing. Because you know what? Sometimes they think that if they make it bland, it'll appeal to everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't want to offend anybody. How many of us are not showing our true colors and not living out loud because we're trying to appease everybody? You preaching good, Lord. We're trying to appease everybody. And so this is what I want you to understand. Like, when we become our fullest selves, we actually repel, and we have to be okay with repelling, but we're repelling on with intention. Not everybody's going to like your rare self. Not everybody's going to connect with your rare self. But the more you become rare, yes, you'll repel, but guess what you're really going to do? You are going to so hyper attract. hyper attract that which belongs to you. Because now you're so in alignment with who you are. What's the word I want to use? I love words, y'all, and I gotta always use the right word, but it ain't coming. But you're so in alignment with who you are that, like, it just hyper attracts. And so I think so many times when it comes to business and when it comes to who you are as a person, we're so concerned that people won't like us, that people are going to reject us, that we just become a chameleon and we just conform and we just become whatever it is that we feel that a person may like or want, or like, y'all need to forget that. Because it's your fullest expression, your fullest, most authentic expression of you that the world needs. It's what the world craves, and it's who God is urging you to be. Like, one of a kind. You know, I don't know if any of you are familiar with Phoenix, or if you're familiar with Arizona. In Arizona, there's a place called Sedona. You'll see some of my posts, and you'll just see how gorgeous it is. It's like the Red Rock, and people come from all over the world to visit this place. At some point, I'm going to do a retreat there because I love it. It's so serene, so peaceful. But I remember the first time I ever went to Sedona, and I was just, when I say in awe, like, you looking at something and it's, you know it's real. Like, it ain't fake, but you feel like you're in a movie. You feel like if you, like, is this real? Because it's beyond your comprehension. And it's like when you see something that has been created by somebody who has created unapologetically, just as he created you, he's created all of these gorgeous things. It makes you want to know who that person is. Like, who was the person behind the person? the man standing next to the man next to the man. You would have to know. Like, who was this person that created this? God created so unapologetically and so creatively, and we are supposed to be like him. And so even when we create, even when we express, we need to be expressing in the same way, but we have to understand that it's not for everybody, and everybody's not going to receive it. But those who will receive it, they're going to love it. They will love it. So that concentration is so important. And so I think that, you know, and I'm grateful for each and every one that's on this live right now. I'm grateful for everybody who has started to follow. But what I realized is, like, it's so much easier when you're being yourself. Like, it's so much easier to just, like, to be. Like, I can laugh, I can joke, I can be serious, I can stop and I can pause, I can trip up over my words. You know what I mean? Because I'm not concerned about making a mistake. And I think that so much of us, we've been taught perfection. We've been taught, like, in order for you to be in front of people, or in order for you to start a business, like, you better not make any mistakes. That's a lie. You have to learn how to give yourself grace and walk in your greatness. I'm trying to read y'all comments. And walk in your greatness. Your Father granted grace, so his greatness is your identity. God, who am I? Not my name, not who I see in the mirror. Who did you create me to be in the heart of who you are before I even enter this physical realm? Who am I? What distinguishes me? What makes me distinct? Those are the things that you need to tap in on. What's up, Queen Esther? These are the things that we need to hone on and be like, oh, snap. Let me explain something to y'all. I used to really think, like, we don't understand some of the things that God has graced us to do, gifted us to do. It doesn't come the most easiest to other people. And we become, or sometimes we can discount that and think that is just, like, common to everybody. And it's not. It's rare. And so I remember I would, like, come into the salon and I would be telling them, like, y'all, like, God just gave me a revelation about something. And when God gives me revelations, when God gives me revelations, they be so profound to me. When I tell you they be so profound, And to the point where, I keep a journal and I write it down and, document it. But as I begin to express what God has allowed me to understand, when I say it sounds like ABC 1, 2, 3, it be sounding so basic. And I just be thinking to myself, don't nobody care to even hear this. Like, it sounds so basic to me, but it's so profound in my mind. How God has just unveiled something and gave me more depth of revelation, depth of understanding. And what I didn't understand was that was a gift. God has allowed me to understand certain concepts, complex at times, and allows me to be able to express them in a way that sounds very basic. And I didn't know that that was a gift. I just, you know what I'm saying? I just was like, y'all, when I be in the salon, I be talking, be like, y'all understand what I'm saying? They be like, yes, like they be getting it, but I just be like, I think it's basic. And I wonder how many of us think that something that God has given us that is profound to other people, but we have labeled it as basic. Like, you got to start paying attention to when God has graced you to do something to where it does not come necessarily easy to other people. Like, there's something in that. There's something in that. So if y'all want to take any, and I'm sorry I can't read all these comments, but if you all have questions, I didn't even plan on saying live that long because we were so late tonight. But I hope I impress something on you tonight. You have to learn how to be your rare self. You have to learn how to be the fullest expression of who you are without apology. Because that's when you'll leave your mark. But it takes a lot of courage to be that. Listen, I think I started telling a story about my voice, but I didn't completely share it all. Like, I got to the point where I hated my voice. And some of you may feel like you may be able to identify, like, I can't stand like hear myself back in a play, like a recorder or something like that, or hear myself talk on video or whatever. I used to be like that, heavy. And I didn't realize that was almost a trick of the enemy, because he, like, the enemy be knowing too. He don't know everything, but he be knowing some things. And it's like sometimes he will set a trap so early in your life that when it comes time for that gift to be expressed, you will hate it so much. Because of the trauma that you experience, because of the rejection that you experience. And so, like, some of us have to ask God, what is it that I need to heal from that I may get free to be completely me? God, what do I need to heal from that I can get completely free to be authentically me? Because sometimes it's like, it's so elusive, and we don't know that there are certain blocks that are keeping us from becoming our best self, keeping us even from prophetic words that have been spoken over our lives. And so I walked around hating my voice for years. And then obviously, I would express myself in comfortable settings, and people would, like, always, comment or praise me on certain things. And I'd be like, what? And I had to learn, like, there are certain parts of me I don't accept. There are certain parts of me that I don't love. And I had to learn how to love those parts of myself. Now I can't stop talking. I be watching my own videos. But I'm saying that to say that this is the place that I believe that God wants to bring you to. And so we have to all identify these things. And so what I needed, yes, absolutely. What's up, Miriam? What's up, Verona? So yeah, y'all, again, I appreciate every one of you. This replay will be on YouTube. I'll, post, but it will no longer be on Instagram after I go live. And for those of you who are looking for any level of coaching, specifically on business, I coach hairstylists. But even if you're looking to learn how to embrace you and to be your rare self, just know that I offer that coaching. You can click the link in my bio if you're looking to book a session. But I believe that God has graced me to help people believe in themselves. That's just something that I know about myself. Like, I get fired up. You hear me? I get fired up. What's up, Donovan? And so when you start believing in yourself and you start behaving according to the truth, this is what's going to change your life. We don't often understand that what hinders us in life is the lack of belief in ourselves. We have all of these ideas. We have all of these goals. We even got all these prophetic words, but we wondering why it has not come to pass. And more of any other thing that you feel like I'm missing, or it's because I don't have enough money, or it's because I don't have the right relationships, or I don't have, I'm not in the right city. Like those are lies. The reality is the only thing that you really need to work on is your belief in yourself. Because your belief in yourself is going to cause you to behave in such a way that's going to be so bold that as you begin to make movement, and as you begin to build that momentum, everything that you lack, you will attract. People start believing in people when they start seeing they believe in themselves. And so I wonder, like, where you are on that barometer of believing in yourself. Like, where exactly are you? Because, Mark, you knew that just threw me off. I'm sorry. I'm the TV behind me, right, y'all? And the screen is just switching, and I'm trying to pay attention. All right. But where are you on that barometer of believing in yourself? The degree to which you believe in yourself is the degree to which you will behave boldly, and you will become and you will behold all the things that you see for yourself, all the things that God has placed in your heart, because he desires to give you the desires of your heart. But it is in tandem with, in conjunction with your self-belief, your self-esteem, your self-confidence. Is that enough for tonight, y'all? I really got on here. I was just like, Lord, give me some points. What are we going to talk about? But that was God. And I thank God for that. But, all right, y'all. So as you know, if you've been on my lives before, my goal is to go live at least once a week. And if I can, twice a week. And so I don't know, how are Thursdays for you, Martin? Hey, okay. So we might just make Thursdays like a regular day, and it'll be at 5:30 my time. So if you're on the East Coast, that would be like 8:30 your time right now before the times turn back. One fun fact about Arizona, we are the only state that never changes our clocks. So when the East Coast change their clocks, and even California change their clocks, we just remain the same. Okay? The Bible says Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He is the same. And Arizona remains the same. And so in a few weeks, I don't know when the clocks change, but I'll probably start going live at 7:30 p.m. EST, which is still my 5:30. So I hope you all have an amazing night. Take me out with the fader. And thank you for everybody who has joined me tonight. I will see you next week. If you have any questions, or if you even have any ideas of something that you want me, topics that you want me to hit on, feel free to DM me, and that'll stir up the gift. Stir up the gift. So y'all have a blessed night. Take care. And what's up, Tish? I just see you. What's up, EB? When I lived there, I was so confused. I can't even see that. What's up, Amanda? Sister Amanda. Why doesn't the time change? Oh, okay. I'm just not seeing that. All right, y'all. Y'all have an amazing night, and I will see y'all next week. Peace.